So wait, how long was the original cut of Blade Runner 2049? So, the film's editor, Joel Walker, and director, Denis Villeneuve. I don't even know if people know how to pronounce his name. The guy who directed Blade Runner 2049, Prisoners, and Sicario. They basically said that the original cut of Blade Runner 2049 was around 4 hours long, and film's editor, Joel Walker, told Pro Video Coalition that the first assembly of the film was nearly 4 hours, and for convenience sake, and to be honest, my bladder's sake, we broke it into two for viewings. And judging that Blade Runner 2049 didn't do that good at the box office, I would have doubted that we would ever get to see that second part. So, and then Denis Villeneuve said to Screen Crush that the best incarnation of the movie is what's in the theater. What was striking is that the 4-hour cut was quite strong, but personally I prefer the one that's in the theater because it's more elegant, I would say. But there are some scenes that were like, whoosh, quite strong. And then he said, I will say that there's no great things that are being lost. When I cut something, it's dead. It means it was not good enough. Even if sometimes I'm cutting my favorite shots, I still strongly think that when it's cut on the floor of the editing room, it should not go back to see the light of day again. I don't like extended cuts. I must say, apart from Touch of Evil and Blade Runner, I have never seen a director's cut that was better than the original. Now, the whole thing about Blade Runner 2049 being 4 hours long, that in itself I don't think is that absurd. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually a common thing in the movie industry where the first cut is way too long. In fact, some of you guys may not know that the original cut of Steven Spielberg's Schindler's List was actually around 4.5 hours long, and kind of like Villeneuve is with Blade Runner, Spielberg's first impressions of that really long cut of Schindler's List was that was too long, and of course it was cut down to around 3 hours. So, me personally, I'm not making this video to say, oh, I want to see that 4-hour cut, I honestly would check it out, but more for curiosity's sake. You know, I guess mainly because when I study film, I really like to understand what is the director trying to say, or what did that director really like. And hearing that Villeneuve is saying there are things that are mind-blowing in that 4-hour cut, and there are shots that he ended up really liking, I honestly would have liked to see that. Maybe that would have not ended up in the final cut of Blade Runner 2049, which was a little over 2.5 hours long, but I don't know, if they released it as like a Blu-ray extra or like an iTunes extra, I probably would check it out. In case you're wondering, we were, me, Steven, and Gabby, we were gonna do a Blade Runner 2049 review, we just never found the time to be able to do it. So in case you guys are wondering, I ended up really liking the movie. It's weird because I was so skeptical of that movie from my days when my YouTube channel was Kumite World, but I thought the movie was pretty good. I would say it's almost neck and neck with the original Blade Runner. Without getting into spoilers, I would say the only thing that 2049 didn't have was that it definitely didn't have the originality of the first film. But I honestly thought that would have been borderline impossible to top. And the new things they added, like the character Joy and the fact they go to other parts of, like at one point in the movie they go to this part in San Diego, and then there's the part in Las Vegas, or an abandoned Las Vegas, where Ryan Gosling's character Kay meets Deckard. I thought that was pretty cool that they changed location. In fact, I heard the co-writer of 2049 in the original film, Hampton Fancher, said that if they ever make a third Blade Runner, it would probably take place with Deckard visiting a foreign country. So, I mean, not to get into spoilers, but that could be interesting. So, what else I was going to say? I mean, as for length, I mean, 2049, 2.5 hour movie. I usually can sit through really long movies as long as the pacing is consistent. I mean, I've seen really long movies like, now obviously there's Sound of Music, but I've seen Schindler's List and Barry Lyndon, all good films. I mean, Schindler's List, not because of the length, but for its innovative storytelling. Is my favorite movie of all time. Barry Lyndon, I thought was good, except the second half I thought kind of dragged. So I usually can sit through really long movies. 2049 in itself, I don't consider 2.5 hour movies really long. I basically consider anything that's like 3 hours plus is really long to my standards. The only thing I felt was kind of long in 2049, and I think it's more to do with the pacing than the length, was the sort of, not the climax, but near the end of the climax when Kay and Deckard are separated, and, you know, when Deckard meets Jared Leto's character Wallace, and then there's the scene where Kay meets the replicant resistant. I thought those scenes were a little long, but it has nothing to do with length. I think it was just slow pacing, which in all fairness, the original Blade Runner isn't exactly innocent of that. I don't know. I guess I'm just such a Blade Runner super fan. I mean, admittedly, I don't know everything about Blade Runner, but I'm definitely I'm very ecstatic about the film. Like, I'm one of those people that says, I would have liked to have seen the work print, the television version, and there was also a version of Blade Runner they screened at some kind of San Diego convention, which has never been seen since that convention in the 80s. I actually think that was the one that convinced Warner Brothers to tell Ridley Scott, hey, put a narration in the theatrical cut so people will know what's going on. And I've only seen the ending of the theatrical cut, like pretty much from the climax onwards. And I think the only thing the theatrical cut really does is it basically adds details. If you're a super fan of Blade Runner, like in the theatrical cut, the narration explains things like city speak, and it has that notorious ending, which I think that ending is the worst part of the theatrical cut, the happy ending where Deckard and Rachel escape from Los Angeles. But honestly, like, I'm just out of curiosity would actually like to see those three versions. I mean, to date, I've seen the director's cut of Blade Runner. I own the final cut, and I've seen, like I said, the ending of the theatrical cut. So I think for me, it's more of a case of the Blade Runner super fan of me would have liked to have seen that really long 4-hour cut just so I can get, you know, as many details as I can out of it, you know. I don't think Warner Brothers will ever release the 4-hour cut, especially considering that 2049, I don't want to use the word bombed, but it didn't do as well as they hoped. And I was honestly kind of shocked, since Blade Runner has had a cult following since its original release. I honestly thought a big budget sequel wouldn't be that bad of an idea, so yeah. But honestly, after the ending of 2049, I think, you know, if this was the last Blade Runner movie, I honestly wouldn't mind too much. It's just that the fan in me, you know, being the fan that I am, would like to see more if possible. So, alright guys, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, this has been a Blood Moon Bobby video. Please like this video or dislike it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.